think the possibility of getting a trade deal this week is reasonably remote. I mean, ultimately, the parties are going to have to settle this. But at the moment, I think there's quite a lot of ill will between the parties and not much appetite for settlement. They want to talk about talks here, but I think they are going to have to string this out a bit longer, and we're all going to feel a bit more pain.
And given your legal expertise, I mean, who has the upper hand here? Of course, China has given plenty of criticism towards the United States on the grounds in which they are fighting many of these battles on national security grounds. In fact, then the U.S. has turned around and said, wait a minute, you're not exactly compliant with WTO rules in a lot of areas either.
I think that's right. I mean, it's interesting that at the moment we're really a very long way off the legal page. Both parties, although they're citing the WTO rules, are really not abiding by them. So they're slapping on these tariffs and counter-tariffs really without any legal justification, and certainly without the say-so of the WTO. So I think both parties, including the European Union to some extent, are not really playing by the rule book. And I think that ultimately that's extremely damaging for the long-term future of the WTO. It probably plays into Mr. Trump's hands as well, who's not particularly keen on the multilateral system, including the WTO.
Speaking of the Europeans, there was a great deal of relief after EC President Jean-Claude Juncker went to the White House. It seems to me they agreed to just hit pause, if you will, on additional tariffs as they try and work out negotiations here. But there is still the threat of tariffs on EU car imports that seems to be worrying many still out there. Do you think there are legal grounds for the United States to move ahead on that specifically?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think actually, if you look at it, for the steel and aluminium, there are legal grounds either. I mean, the cars just seems to be so incredibly remote and so incredibly political, playing to his base for the November 2018 midterms. So I think if all this got boiled down to is this lawful or not, the answer would be that the US actions are potentially not lawful, and they certainly wouldn't stand up in respect of cars.
And it's interesting you mention ahead of the midterm elections, because we now understand that U.S. President Trump, Chinese President Xi are due to meet in November after those elections. When you speak to clients that you advise, would you be giving them the advice of let's just all hold on and wait until those elections pass, and then perhaps we could see cooler heads prevail?
Well, I think that's right. I mean, I think once the results of the midterms are settled, then President Trump can see where he stands. I mean, if he's held on or had a resounding victory in the midterms, he'll feel emboldened. If he's lost, it's not really clear what he'll do. Maybe he'll even leave office. I don't know. I mean, anything's possible. But certainly in terms of what we're advising clients, it is that this is going to go on for a while. The tensions are going to ratchet up, and clients need to take decisions that take them through the sort of easiest route through this really, really thorny thicket.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.